Huge news in the appellate court case with LIEnette CROOK. Her attorney, Silverman, has filed a motion to be removed from actually representing her. Or did he? Country Girl writes in and says, I heard Silverman asked to be removed. Is that true? Well, 100% true that there is a motion in the appellate courts just filed yesterday, and it's asking for Silverman to be removed. Except, Marla Hughes is out there saying, no, this is just a mistake. No, just like the docket made a mistake in Jeremy's case. That's funny because she didn't state it was a mistake when I was stating it was a mistake. She said I was a liar. And here she is debunking herself again, acting as the mouthpiece for LIEnette CROOK instead of LIEnette CROOK actually acting as their own mouthpieces. Third-party communication is still third-party communication. So there are some nuances involved with this motion. And just as it reads in the court case, in the docket, yes, there is a motion for Silverman to be removed, except it's not exactly as it reads. And I promise I'll get back to that. There's so many more questions that can help answer this question and set the stage for it. For example, Peanut says, what is that barn type building on their property? Is that truly supposed to be their house? Well, barndominiums are a thing of this current culture. So are tiny homes. Barndominiums are supposed to be barns that you convert into a home. Now, LIEnette came up with this genius idea. Remember, she's told everybody she graduated high school early, which is a lie. She actually dropped out. She told everybody she graduated high school early to go to college, which is a lie. She went one semester. She dropped out. So, let's get to the truth of this. They want to build a barndominium styled home. It's not a true barndominium. True barndominium is a barn that you then convert into a home. So what they're attempting to do is actually build a barn style home. Now here's the ironic part. They've already have a septic system that their back door actually opens up to. The septic system is the very first thing viewable from the property. The entire layout is crap. Literally. I'm serious. You've got a leach bed, a septic system. That's the highlight of your back door. Look at the highlight of my back door. This is my back door. One of many. And they all actually picturesque nature and the beauty of it. Their back door opens up. That sounds funny when I'm talking about Crook, doesn't it? The back door opening up. All right, let's try and get that image out of our head now. Okay, their back door actually opens up to their crap field. Literally, not figuratively, literally. And so the whole layout is ridiculous. To even try and sell the place. Let's say that they do go, you know what? We're not wanted here. There's no way we're going to win. Let's sell this place before Jeremy even gets it, right? Who in their right mind is going to buy an aluminum frame on a cement pad with a crap field right next to it? Nobody. The only thing you're going to do is doze everything. And not only that, you're probably going to have to dig down a couple feet as you doze and get rid of all that biohazard as well. Remember, she's been putting all of her poo and all of her urine all over the property. And they want to be self-sufficient, growing all their own vegetables with their own poo. Yeah, that's not okay. With horse poo, as Crook's begging for manure. For all of you out there that are gardeners, you know how hot that is. And I'm not talking about temperature. I'm talking about acidic levels. That has to be mixed with lime. It actually has to be neutralized. These two, I get it when you're asking a question like this, going, is that truly supposed to be a house? You've seen it in the wildlife officer video. Supposed to be. Will it be? I don't think you'll ever see the completion of it. Because I know when I own it, I'm not going to finish it. DC Hoosier wants to know, when LIEnette and Crook go to jail, will you finally be able to carry protection again? So DC Hoosier, good question, because many of the What the Hales fans and the family, they know that I always am packing a little bit of heat somewhere, right? And so it's very important in our lifestyle. And what I mean by lifestyle is when you live your life online so publicly, privacy becomes the one thing that you want more than anything. And that's why Hales headquarters is so secure. And people have often asked, why is Hales headquarters so big? I didn't build Hales headquarters. I bought it for the property and the security of it. I would rebuild a completely different house. Not that this house isn't beautiful, right? But I would rebuild it and do it differently. So it's not for the house, it's for security. Security is important to me. And if they both go to jail, will all of a sudden I be able to actually carry security with me anymore? The answer, unfortunately, is no. Even if LIEnette and Crook go to jail. Let's say Ohio puts out a warrant for their arrest right now. Literally right now. And let's say somebody goes and arrests them, brings them, extradites them up to Ohio, and they are imprisoned. All of a sudden, do I have rights back, my Second Amendment rights? No, because Judge Craig DeThomasis, and I've got a whole lot of other words for his last name, Judge Craig DeDumbass, he literally infringed on all of my civil rights. Quite a few of them, quite a few. My freedom of speech, my freedom to bear arms. And I'm not talking black bear, grizzly bear, or these bears, right? I'm talking the opportunity to protect oneself. That given right that we have based on our amendments. So how do I get it back? Well, the only way to get it back is the judge is going to have to reverse what the DeThomasis has done. Now, I 100% believe that will happen, okay? But it's not going to happen overnight. It hasn't happened yet. Right now, this case with the writ of prohibition, meaning we're asking the higher court, think of Judge Craig DeThomasis right here. He's in the lowest of the lowest courts. He thinks he's God, but there are so many more that are above him. He is nothing when it comes down to courts. He's only God in his own mind and in that courtroom. That's it. Outside of that courtroom, he has no authority. In his own home, I'm sure his wife tells him the way it's going to be. Let's realize that this man has done something inappropriate and wrong, but it's still there. It doesn't just go away. It has to go through the legal process. So it was in a legal process for him to put it there, and now it has to be stripped away, taken away through the legal process so that I can actually do this again, even if LIEnette and Crook are in jail, which eventually I do believe they will end up there as well. Look at all the foolish things they continue to do. Break the law, break the law, break the law, break the law. They're claiming it's all SilverSCAM. My lawyer told me to do it. So once it goes through the appellate courts, and which it already is, and they have already given LIEnette, not DeThomasis, they have given LIEnette until June 4th to actually respond and say, why should we not remove him? And it better be a legal answer. Remember, this writ of prohibition is almost 100 pages. I believe 86 pages. And so, number one, she's got to have money for a lawyer to actually defend, and it's not even defend, to argue. I mean, really, that's what you're doing. You're arguing the law. So this is 86 pages of the law saying this is what DeThomasis did wrong. This is why he must be removed. What he did was illegal. And now she has to pay a lawyer to argue why what he did isn't illegal. And yet, I don't think even SilverSCAM believes that it wasn't illegal. It was SilverSCAM that said, hey, we have no problem with it whatsoever. We do not object. I wonder if LIEnette's blowing up his phone now saying, why didn't you object? Ranger Bull wants to know, when it comes to the point of hiring a bounty hunter, and with them carrying weapons, meaning Crook and LIEnette, isn't there a chance that someone could get hurt? There's already a chance of somebody getting hurt every day. That's why I was granted a civil protection order. I hope everybody understands that. You're not just going to get a civil protection order based on no information or evidence whatsoever. Now, here's the things that those in LIEnette's camp, purgatory, the homeless, the addicts, all living in her purgatory, that revolving door that she lets in. But some of these people are online. She's never, ever met them before. They want to continue to say, oh, if it wasn't for that email that she sent the mayor where he lives at Hale's headquarters, that email had nothing to do at all with the actual civil protection orders. The evidence of what they've said, the evidence of what they've done, pointing pew-pews, posting things about in their mouths, in George's mouth, and it goes on and on and on. All of it accumulates, and Ohio has complete and total jurisdiction over the civil protection orders because my permanent residency is in Ohio. And these civil protection orders, they are to be enforced everywhere. So what they did in Florida to a permanent Ohio resident, Ohio has all jurisdiction over it. Take away the entire email. That's what put me to the point of I am sick and tired of these two. I'm going to go after the civil protection order in Ohio now, which is all stated and all publicly viewable on a live stream on the channel. So you have to understand the fact that I was going to get hurt on a daily basis, that George could have been hurt on a daily basis, that Deanna could have been hurt on a daily basis. The things that she and the other psychotic people that actually believe all of her lies on a daily basis were saying they were going to do to Christian and the patients and my kids and my ex-wife and my family members and my brothers and my sister and my parents and George's brothers and her sister, her parents, and the list goes on and on. Yeah, somebody could get hurt. That's why the civil protection orders were granted in the first place. Now, they're on constant awareness and watch, right? Levy County deputies, they know what's going on. Normal deputies, street deputies, will not be dispatched out anymore. Only supervisors. And we all know the last time she called, a supervisor came out because she complained about her own dogs trying to escape from her, just like everybody else in her life has done. Emerald Kind wants to know, which case did you withdraw? Well, here's the thing. I didn't withdraw anything. Emerald Kind is probably talking about the chatter online right now about SilverSCAM filing a motion to withdraw. Again, we're going to answer that question, okay? But I have not filed to withdraw anything. If anything, I'm pushing even further. I'm pushing more. I'm helping others with their lawsuits, okay? So the more is coming. I'm not withdrawing. This is the beginning of a tidal wave that's coming for these two. Now, they're withdrawing, and we're going to get to that here soon. Tony Eddy says, have you made a bar complaint yet? Well, on that judge, Craig DeThomas's, well, Tony, here's the thing. I've encouraged many people, if they've seen something wrong, you remember Levy County's whole motto, if you see something, say something, that if you saw something wrong, you could say something to the JQC. Now, it's important, though, that you be a Florida resident, okay? And I've given all that information out, and many people have made complaints. And you're asking specifically about a bar complaint. There have been complaints made, not only to the JQC, not only to the bar, to the governor. Now, I can also tell you that there are no less than 6 lawyers right now, and probably more coming, all coming together to make a formal complaint to the bar on Judge Craig DeThomas's. All who will no longer want to have anything to do with his courtroom because he shows bias against them. It is not a fair courtroom, and what he is doing is at best immoral, at worst illegal. He is to be unbiased in everything. He is to do nothing more than listen and guide the structure of the proceedings and then make a determination. And we can see this man just can't shut up. It's not like he's making YouTube videos. If I'm going to make a video, I got to say something. Dead air is no good on radio. Dead air is no good on TV. Dead air on the largest media platform in the world, YouTube, is no good. There's got to be something said. That doesn't apply to Judge Craig DeThomas. His job is to listen. That's it. And then make a determination based on what he heard. So, yeah, I've made complaints to the lowest level, to the mid-level, to the highest level. I've encouraged others to make complaints. If they are residents of Florida, please make complaints. Contact your state reps. Contact the governor. Contact the JQC. Contact the bar. And there are others in authority positions that know about all of this. They are watching, as is Craig DeThomas. He's watching every single thing. And you're going, do you have proof? Oh, yeah, we got proof. The real Karsten wants to know, this trial has caused so much emotional stress, financial stress. It's corruption 101. How do you stay so positive? Well, I think the answer is pretty easy. There's so much humor in it. Now, I will 100% tell you it's extremely stressful. And you should surround yourself with people who actually handle stress well. And frankly, there are people that are around me that do not handle it well. They actually make it worse. But there are other people around me that handle it really well, and they help make things better. So the important thing is you hang out with those people who actually help you make it better. There's a lot of humor in this. Everything from LIEnette saying her mom died, her mom didn't die. Everything from LIEnette filing for an injunction, then claiming to plead the fifth on everything, which you cannot do. You can't have the case and plead the fifth. You understand that? I understand that. LIEnette and SilverSCAM obviously do not. Although I think we all know SilverSCAM actually knows as well. The most important thing is understanding money is something that doesn't last. I mean, if you could set up a family trust and then you try and help your family even when you're gone, does that really make a lasting impact? I suppose you could argue that it does, okay? So money can make an impact, but not a long-lasting impact. What do you want to be remembered for? Do you really want to be remembered for how much money you had? I mean, when we talk about Rockefeller, when we talk about Ford, we think about their money, right? But I'd rather be known as somebody that made an impact on people's lives in a positive way. And so who cares about the money? I care about people. And hopefully there are people that care about me. And I know there are because I see their comments. I read their comments on a daily basis. They are encouraging. They are supporting. And some of that support is through words. Some of that support is through finances. Finances. Some of that support is sometimes through a physical hug even. There are those individuals that you just meet, their fans, their viewers, their supporters, and they go, can I just hug you? And sometimes a good hug is what somebody needs. Oh, wait. That reminds me. There's somebody who's claiming now they need a hug. Who do you think it is? That's right. It would be LIEnette. She's now claiming she's so strong. Let me see if I can get it in view for you. But sometimes she's got such great family and friends. Sometimes she just needs a hug. Uh-oh. I think she misspelled that. I think hug is supposed to be, she needs that physical ugh. There's always something to laugh about, especially with LIEnette and Crook. They're extremely dangerous individuals. Now, the whole motion or notion that LIEnette is under 100 pounds and she's old and she's obviously addicted to opioids as well. So, duh, something's wrong up here. And then you add this with this, that's all wrong. That's not a good combination. There is plenty to be scared of, but there's plenty to laugh about as well. And I think that's the biggest thing, is finding the opportunities for the humor. Whether it's a meme, whether it's a video, There are times where I will just talk to a friend about skits that we could video. Tons of them. We have come up with lots of them, such as me coming out as Mr. Rogers, and it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and making fun of my neighbor. But you understand, it's all in humor to actually deal with all the stress. Many people deal with stress different ways. Some people shut down, some people actually get amped up. And so for me, I think the humor is what does it best. And the humor that the viewers provide as well from it, it all helps. It truly does. It all helps. And so I appreciate that tremendously. The Gaming Midnight Sun says, can't the Ohio courts launch a full investigation of the Levy County court system? All right, the Gaming Midnight Sun. I share a lot of information on this channel and on these videos. And most of this information I've either looked up beforehand, or I have previous knowledge on it, or I have been educated on it. So this is an aspect of a question that I honestly don't know. I wouldn't think Ohio could launch a full investigation in Florida, but who knows? I mean, maybe Ohio actually can instigate. That's the wrong word. Initiate. Yeah, that's the word. Initiate. Although, I wouldn't mind if Ohio did some instigating with Florida, because that system is screwed up. Judge Grudge is screwed up. The whole corruption is screwed up. I mean, I'm not saying Ohio doesn't have its problems. Please understand that. I'm not saying Ohio is better than Florida. Please don't misunderstand me. I don't think any state is better than any other state, nor do I think any person is better than any person. I judge a person based on their actions. So when I talk about actions and I say, well, this person's actions are better than this person's, for example, we could talk about responsible firearm, right? Carrying and possessing, and when Crook pulls it out of his pocket that he claims he has a hole in, do I think somebody who is actually holstered is a better person than Crook, who claims he has a hole in his pocket and he's pulling it out? Absolutely, based on the actions, not based on the person. Now, clearly, I think Crook is trash. Clearly, I think LIEnette is trash. Clearly, I think they're grifters, scammers, and con artists, and they're very unprofessional and very unsuccessful at it. The only success they've truly had is because I have exposed them. It's people's love to hate of me that has gotten them money for SilverSCAM. It's people's love of hate of me that has gotten them cameras or any other of the items that have been gifted in kind. So they couldn't even do it on their own. It's because I expose them, and people want to hate me instead of love me because of their own jealousy. They're jealous I'm successful. They're jealous I'm ruggedly handsome. Okay, I'm joking there. I'm just, come on. We know, I'm balding, I'm old, I'm middle-aged, okay? But the jealousy is real. That's where people's hate comes from. It comes birthed out of their own heart issues of jealousy. And so, can Ohio do anything? I just don't know. It's not a question I've asked my legal representation. It's nothing that I've even looked up, but I would not mind if there was a little instigating. Okay, investigating, initiating, but really instigating. This next comment, not a question, comes from my friend, my neighbor, Gail. You remember she was a council member in Otter Creek, and I hear she would love to be a council member again now that Russ the Sus is gone. And she's talking specifically about the area where I own, where I've stated 3 homes were there. And she clarifies, because she would know, she's been there her whole life, there were only 2 homes there. The 3 homes were after the curve on the left, the side where the creek runs. Now, I know exactly where she's talking about, where the 3 homes were on the curve, where the creek is. And I realize most people viewing won't actually understand that. But this is clarification for me, because I was told by a previous resident of Otter Creek that there were 3 homes there and that there were even concrete stairs. I've never found the concrete stairs there. I have found a set of concrete stairs on another church lot that is right next to my north boundary. It's a half an acre. I would love to purchase that as well. I have not been able to get in touch with the actual owners, even though I have tried, okay? But Gail is actually letting me know there were only 2 homes there, which makes sense because I have found the 2 actual septic tanks. I have found the pole with the electric utilities coming in. And frankly, there are 2 driveways as well. One is so overgrown that I can't get the gate open, okay? So when I told Judge Craig DeThomasis that I have 4 drives on my frontage of my property, I actually have 5, but I'm not counting that 5th one for that other house because there's no way I can get in it any longer. So right next to Gail, where she lives, and she's living in her mom's home, and unfortunately her mom passed away. And it's a sorrowful thing, but I'm thrilled still to have Gail with us as our neighbor. And so right next to Gail, there was one of those homes, and then another, which all makes sense now because we could only find the 2 septic tanks. And so now you're thinking, would you build 3 bed and breakfasts there or just 2 since there were only 2? Well, I know she's provided Deanna with some old footage today or some old photos of those actual homes. And they were really close up to the road. And I appreciate her doing that for the history of the ranch. I think it would be super cool, okay? This is just me, okay? So I'm nerdy. You know I'm a nerd. Nerds come in all shapes, sizes, forms, genders, colors, you name it. I'm a nerd. How cool. How utterly cool would it be to take those photos that she's supplied us with and try and rebuild what was actually there, and then historically say, this is what was here. This is a beautiful piece of Otter Creek history. And then you can come stay in the B&B, the bed and breakfast, right across from Turd Purgatory. Don't bring your animals. Celeste Donahue has a lot to say, a whole lot to say. Jeremy and George, love you guys. Me and my hubby, we are retired. We watch you daily. You 2 are a glutton for punishment. I can't even watch this stuff. Little fact, I edit all the videos, almost 100%. And George has done a couple, but almost 100%. And I hate seeing myself on video, listening to myself on video. And so the fact that others actually do it, it blows my mind. And maybe it's just a personal thing. We're always roughest and when we critique ourselves, right? But I'm just always amazed that anybody actually watches. Of course, you got all those haters out there that make you famous. I mean, they hang on every single word. And let's see what Celeste goes on to say. I do wonder if you can find out for sure if they had no permits to build the shell of a house. If not, should it be torn down? I hope so. Even if they go to jail for 5 days, that little girl will go to the aunts. That would be awesome. Okay, Celeste, here's what I do know. I currently have all the prints, okay? I have a copy of everything. Everything that they have filed with the county, I have. And I will also share with you without sharing everything, okay? So you have to understand when I make these videos, there are some things that I openly share that are open information, okay? Anybody can get it anywhere and it's open information. Therefore, it doesn't matter if I share it or not because it's out there. There are some things that I will not share because it would give too much information in the direction I'm headed legally. There are some things that I share to throw them off direction of where I'm headed legally. Get that? For example, some things that I've shared because of LIEnette CROOK. When I bought Hale's headquarters, George and I did not want to be stalked ever again. We purposefully stated that we wanted everybody to think that we were in another state. We did not want anybody to know what state we were in. And now what's happened is LIEnette and Crook have posted our physical address, my personal number, all over the internet. All the haters have it. And so it's common knowledge now. So the fact of trying to keep our own security by not even letting people know what state we live in, that one's gone. That security layer is gone. But during that time, we were able to put other security layers in place, which we feel much more protected now because of. So the aspect of her actual drawings and her permits, and the list can go on and on. I have a copy of it all. Literally have a copy of it all. I know what's going to happen next with it. My lawyer is involved in what's going to happen next with it. The county knows that my lawyer is involved in what's going to happen next with it. LIEnette and Crook don't know, except for they're finding it out right now. The town knows what's going to happen next with it because my lawyer has been working with the town and the county, and it goes on and on. Here's what I will share with you. Her building permit, her building blueprints, they're conceptual drawings. They are not blueprints. Conceptual. They are not what's on that property, which means it's illegal. YMS says, how are they going to keep all their lies straight between each judge? This is the beauty of that question. If you recall, in Ohio court, the judge tells them, are you sure you want to give testimony under oath? It can and will, emphasis on will, be used against you in other courts. Obviously, every single recording, which I have already shared on the channel, is already in the hands of my legal team. I shared it on the channel so that it could never, ever disappear, no matter what. So that no judge could ever say, you cannot put that out for the world to hear. It's already done. It's out there. It's public information. And not even Judge Craig DeThomasis can try and put a gag order on me. Sounds like something Crook would try to do to me, gag me. Something he's posted that he says he did to George. Well, you'd have to have more than a Tic Tac to actually gag. But, LIEnette claims she has that whole throat problem. Maybe it was because the gag order that Crook put on her. I'm just throwing out some theories there. So how are they going to keep it straight? They're not. They're pathological liars. They are habitual pathological liars. They can't keep their story straight at all. How much have I debunked already? How much do I have to continue to debunk? How much do you think a federal judge is going to tolerate? How much do you think any other professional judge, other than DeThomasis, would actually tolerate in a courtroom? Not very much. So will they be able to keep their story straight? We already know they haven't. They're already in Ohio court. They're headed back to Ohio court for another contempt of court hearing. They're in county court in Florida. They're in federal court. They're headed to family court in Florida because the whole adoption is being contested. And that's just the beginning. The tidal wave, the tsunami is coming for them. Bandit Van Wart says, all right, I've heard this way too many times that judge would make a great professor. Would you really want that idiot teaching future judges on what he's done in this court? Okay, I'm going to agree with you, Bandit, that you make a great point, okay? And you make the point that you don't want him teaching what he's actually doing. But let's also recognize that teaching and real life experience is very different, okay? I was an adjunct professor at the master's level with business, education, and counseling. All of my students could get a master's in organizational leadership, business, Christian counseling, or Christian education, okay? And so what I did was experiential based. There's a vast difference from the classroom to real life. I think we all agree on that. And what I did was fully accredited experiential based. My students spent the whole school year with me in the business, living the business, and doing business. That's the best education you could actually possibly get. So, would I want future judges, which he was teaching lawyers, would I want future legal professionals learning from him? Yes! On what not to do. Literally, I think the entire classroom should come into his courtroom, should come to Preston versus Hales and see exactly what he has screwed up, see exactly how he has failed, see exactly the illegal things he's done, see exactly what's happening, see exactly how to ruin your career, see exactly what social media truly is and can do, and will ensure that he never gets reelected. See exactly. You get what I'm getting at? I mean, I get what you're getting at, Bandit, and I think you get what I'm getting at. You know, failure is a good teacher. When learning YouTube, I failed a lot, and I learned from those failures, and then that zeroed in on the success. And so now when doing YouTube, I really don't even think about it anymore because I kind of have a formula of what works. Unfortunately, I have to put this kind of stuff out there for accountability and until all this is done so I can get back to what I really love, the treasure hunt. That's my heart. That's who I am. Now, he's very verbacious. He's very vocal. And he can talk on and on and on. And I realize there are some of you that would say, well, Jeremy, you're the exact same way. On camera, if you ask anybody who's ever been with me off camera, I'm not that talkative. There's the aspect of Jeremy has to wear the hat as a business owner. Jeremy has to wear the hat as a father. Jeremy has to wear the hat as the entertainer. Jeremy has to wear the hat of, I don't want to entertain when the camera is off. I just want to do what I want to do. I want to do manual labor. I find joy in manual labor. I want to clean the peacock pen. I want to hang out with the peacocks and feed the peacocks in silence sometimes. Sometimes I don't want silence. Sometimes I want music. There's the hat of singing. So he wears that hat of verbaciousness and loves to tell you exactly what he's thinking, loves to educate you, that he can't separate it from the courtroom. Like, he literally cannot separate. He's not a defense attorney anymore. He is not an adjunct professor anymore. He's a judge, and those all should be separated. He doesn't have the ability to do it. What I have stated is that his skill set is better for a classroom. But the reality is, I think the students would learn a whole lot more of what not to do in the courtroom. Chris Nelson says, how in the world can they afford this RV? Can they afford a new steel building with the government check that they get? They must have another source of income, like rugs. Okay. Chris, you're on to something. There's no doubt you're on to something. And there's no doubt we have the proof in all of her text messages that he, at least, meaning Crook, was dealing rugs. And we have the proof because of what she's posted online that she tests positive for rugs. It's all there. I mean, this is how foolish they are. It's ridiculous. So how'd they get the money? All right. So you may have heard us making fun of her, continually stating, I had a beautifully remodeled, paid off home. First of all, it wasn't beautiful. Second of all, it wasn't paid off. With the sale of the home, she owed $60,000. So it got paid off once it sold. Okay? Now, we have all the proof of that as well. I don't just say these things just to say it. I have the actual paperwork. So they sell the home. They bought it. They sell it for more than they bought it for. Now they've got money. But Crook and LIEnette split it 50-50. Very first day I meet LIEnette, she's bugging me, emailing me, can you please bring your tractor over? I'm your new neighbor. I can't get in my drive. You know, that makeshift driveway that they have, because there was a huge down tree. And my tractor was not big enough to push that tree at all. That tree just pushed right back. And so I heard from the very beginning. She went, he's not coming here with me. He's a runk. I want him alive. All of this stuff. Literally, from the moment this woman meets me, she's spitting this garbage out with her bestie, Jamster, Jamie, who they're no longer besties. They're literally calling CPS on each other. Pretty interesting how these friendships work. When she says, I'm so blessed to have friends and family that support me, but sometimes I just need a hug. Ugh! The insanity of it all, right? So, how are they getting this? Well, we know they have 3 incomes. Crook's got his income. How do we know that? Because he posted it in the federal paperwork. And then LIEnette has her income, which is SSI. How do we know that? Because she posted it. And then SSDI. They have 3 incomes. And are they making a little extra? No doubt about it. But they've never in their lives seen as much income as they have this past year with the exposure of all of their scams and cons. And what boggles my mind is that people are literally foolish enough, that people are dumb enough to keep funneling them money. Now, you may be thinking, wow, Jeremy, doesn't that make you upset? No, not at all. People can do whatever they want with their money. If they're stupid enough to give their money to them, more power to them. What that means for me in the court, what that means for me in the federal case, when I win and I have a lump sum settlement, when I have sanctions, when they're going to have to pay, that means there's more money still in the pot that comes to me. So all those people that gave her money, you got Patty gave her $7,000, Paul gave her $3,000. All I can say is thank you, because that money literally is just going to go back to me. Everybody knows she's going to lose. She's 100% guilty. They are going to lose. So the more money that people throw at them means they're not spending more money on other things such as selling the Gladiator and then having to use that for legal fees, which means I get it at the end. Selling the property, which means I get it at the end. And I find it humorous, all the individuals that go, oh no, you can't get property in Florida. Oh yeah, you can. And the federal government's going to seize it. Stephen Jedi wants to know, after the 5 years for the civil protection order is up, are you going to go for a new protection order? New protection order right there. Well, Stephen Jedi, you must be using your Jedi tactics on us right now. The answer is absolutely. Without a doubt. With everything that has already happened, all the contempt of courts, and I guarantee you they are not done violating the civil protection order because that's how dumb they are. Think about it. They got a cease and desist. What did they do? They increased activity. They got a civil protection order against them. What did they do? Day 1. Not day 100. Day 1. They stalked us to the sheriff's station. And they have been held in contempt and found guilty of violating that civil protection order from day 1 by Ohio. Florida's still ignoring it for some reason. We'll get to that later, though. So all of this accumulated, absolutely. We 100% will go for a further protection order. Now, if we're lucky, they'll be gone. Now, everybody has the right to live wherever they want to live, right? Obviously, if you're going to live somewhere, you want to be respectful to your neighbors. You don't want to stalk them. You don't want to put signs up calling them a rapist. You don't want to lie about them and defame them. You don't want to do these foolish things. Create hate pages about them. Here, in my home village, there's nothing. Well, there's a lot of love. There's a lot of laughing. There's a lot of living. And I love living here. There is a whole different story. So, absolutely, I'll be going for another protection order. Velusa says they never take the protection order seriously. And obviously, them being with on Zoom, it gives them a false sense of a no risk of punishment. I agree with you. And who is the one that actually is empowering them to feel that there's no risk or punishment? The state of Florida. Ohio's holding them in contempt. The state of Florida is doing nothing but sweeping it under the rug, and they're trying not to be filmed. I think that's the best way around it. They've already done so many foolish things. State attorney tells them, do not enforce it, puts it in writing. I mean, I can't emphasize this enough. How dumb of an attorney to put it in writing, and we have it. How dumb. Breaking not only state but federal law as well. I mean, my goodness. All they've done is empower LIEnette and CROOK to further break the law and break the law and break the law and break the law. And at some point, the law is going to break them, right? Might be financially, might be with other consequences, but it's going to happen. It's absolutely going to happen. When they're not in the seriousness of a courtroom, when they're just on a screen on Zoom, and they're literally lying the entire time to the judge, saying, nobody's in here with me, when you literally can hear the other person there. No, nobody's here with me. I mean, all the lies, all the manipulation. Come on. How could people be so stupid to give these two money when you know the manipulations, when you know the lies? Here's my thought process on that. Birds of a feather flock together. If you want to be a millionaire, you need to hang out with 5 other millionaires. A rising tide raises all ships. Now, you could be going, well, isn't that what LIEnette was trying to do with you? She wanted to be a millionaire. She wanted to hang out right next to you. She wanted to buy property across the street from you. No, she was scamming. She was conning. Very, very, very different situation. You want to be homeless? You know what you do? You hang out with 5 homeless. I'm telling you, people in your spheres of influence make an impact on your decisions and your daily life. I can see this daily in people around me. What they view is what spews out their mouth. What they put in here ends up here and comes out here. Make sure, number one, you're hanging around the right people. Make sure you have the right things coming in here, and then it ends up here, and then the right things come out here. They don't. So the people who are funding them, the people who are sending them things, are just as trash, in my opinion. Birds of a feather will always flock together. And you know I love birds. I got chickens, I got ducks, I got peacocks. I want to be a peacock, not a dodo. Elizabeth Palmer says, as I'm watching today's video and all the others, my mind has started mapping the significance of every filing. Literally the way everything is being filed. What a beautiful maneuver. So brilliant. What an amazing game of chess, Mr. Hales. Cannot wait for the checkmate conclusion to this saga. I see each move and I'm seriously in awe. Did you play Mousetrap a lot as a child? Because this is epic. Well, yes, I loved Mousetrap. Loved Mousetrap, Elizabeth. And there are very, very significant chess moves in this whole legal system that's happening. And some I have somewhat explained, and some I have given no explanation. Again, I'm not going to show every card. I'm only going to show the things that need to be showed, that I want to be showed, and some things that throw them in the wrong direction, and some things that are the right direction. But the reality is, the game is on. And it is at the point of check. And we're getting to the point of checkmate. Now, when it's all done, I can reveal what purposes were behind which things and which move. But that's not going to happen yet. And I do want to make it very clear. Some of the moves are initiated by me. Majority of the moves are initiated by my legal team. So it's their genius maneuvering. It's their genius game plan. And it's their play that's put them in check right now, which is going to bring us back to that original question. You remember that one. We heard Silverman withdrew, right? Let's get back to it. I'm going to pull it up right here. Country Girl says, I heard Silverman asked to be removed from the case. Is that true? So here's what happened, okay? We're in the appellate courts. So we have filed 3 motions for Judge Craig DeThomas to recuse himself, to remove himself from this case, which he denied. And each time he denied, he did it with illegal moves in the game. And then filed a writ of prohibition to the appellate courts. So if this is Judge Craig DeThomas at the county level, the appellate court is up here above him. We're asking the appellate courts to remove him because of all the things he's done inappropriately. He is now being watched by not only you and I, but so many others, not only in Levy County, all over the state of Florida. Is he feeling the pressure? You better believe he's feeling the pressure. And because of such, now the appellate courts are telling him, you can't say a word. This is a man who can't stop talking. But we also have the federal case. And here's the beauty of the federal case. LIEnette has done so many illegal things. Crook has done so many illegal things. They're being sued for extortion. Extortion is you do this for me or I'm going to do this to you. So extortion is the aspect of you either give me your money, Jeremy, or I'm going to put signs all over town telling people that you rap. And specifically my daughter, which is pathological, gross lying. Now, Silverman is named within that for sure, right? And, oh, wait, hold a second. Silverman's got nothing to do with it. He can't do anything in the appellate courts. But Silverman, he can't do anything in the federal courts. He's not licensed for it. But in the appellate courts, Silverman's firm has a partner. And so Silverman did file a motion to withdraw. But that motion was not for Silverman. Because he has a partner, his partner was mentioned within the court case as well, as are all my legal attorneys. And the motion is for his partner to be withdrawn or removed from the case. She wants absolutely nothing to do with it. As a matter of fact, she's requested I don't say her name any longer. And based on those conversations, I'm not going to say her name because I respect her and the direction she's headed. And I respect that she respects my direction as well.